Every night, millions unknowingly set a trap for their own brains. A silent, stealthy damage that chips away at mental clarity, emotional balance, and even lifespan. What if the very routine you trust to restore you is secretly breaking you down? It sounds shocking, but the truth is stranger than fiction. Sleep, or the lack of quality sleep, isn't just about feeling tired the next day. It's about a hidden assault on your brain's health that few understand. The good news? Once you uncover this secret, you hold the power to stop the damage, unlock deep sleep, and reclaim your nights like never before. Ready to learn what's truly at stake? Topic 1. The critical role of sleep for brain and body health. Most people think of sleep as a passive activity, a nightly shutdown of the system, like turning off a light switch. But what if I told you that every hour of sleep is actually your body's most advanced maintenance session? Behind closed eyes, your brain is scrubbing out waste, repairing neural pathways, balancing hormones, and recharging your emotional batteries. Without this nightly reset, you start paying the price faster than you'd expect. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's about staying alive. Quite literally. Because the shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. It's one of those truths that nobody talks about until it's too late. Let's talk hormones, because sleep is their master conductor. When you're well-rested, ghrelin, the hunger gremlin, stays in check, and leptin, the satiety signal, does its job. But miss just one night, and the entire orchestra spirals out of tune. You crave carbs like a maniac, your willpower evaporates, and before you know it, you're elbow deep in a bag of chips wondering what happened. Sleep hygiene is the quiet hero in your weight loss journey. No amount of dieting or workouts can compete with a sleep-deprived brain screaming for sugar. And what about the brain itself? One bad night of sleep can cloud your thinking, slow your reaction time, and make you emotionally unstable. Not to mention, it hijacks your impulse control, so you snap at loved ones, forget names, and make decisions you'll regret. It's like handing the wheel to a drunk version of yourself. That's because without deep sleep, your emotional centers become hyperactive while the prefrontal cortex, the rational boss of the brain, goes offline. It's no wonder people searching for insomnia relief also report mood swings, anxiety, and chronic fatigue. Now zoom out a little. The damage isn't just internal. It ripples through your whole body. The immune system weakens, your heart takes a beating, and even your DNA starts to show wear. Yes, scientists have discovered that sleep deprivation shortens the protective caps on your chromosomes. Your very blueprint begins to fray. That's the price of poor sleep quality. It ages you from the inside out. It's not just about how many hours you sleep. It's about how consistently, how deeply, and how intentionally you rest. Better sleep habits are more than a lifestyle upgrade. They're a survival strategy. So what's the fix? Surprisingly, the most powerful natural sleep remedies are often the simplest. Prioritizing a bedtime routine, dimming the lights, embracing relaxation techniques, and syncing with your circadian rhythm. These aren't just wellness trends. They're biological imperatives. And once you understand the true power of deep sleep, it becomes impossible to ignore what you're sacrificing by staying up too late, night after night. But let's take this one step further, because while the body pays the price, the soul, it suffers in silence when sleep begins to slip. Topic 2. Sleep deprivation and emotional/social consequences. Imagine this. You're running on just a few hours of sleep, your nerves feel raw, and even the smallest inconvenience makes your blood boil. Sound familiar? That's not just moodiness. It's your brain screaming for help. When you're underslept, the emotional centers in your brain, especially the amygdala, go into overdrive, reacting up to 40% more intensely. Meanwhile, the part responsible for calming you down, the prefrontal cortex, gets sluggish. The result? You're emotionally hijacked, spiraling in reactions you can't explain. Deep sleep tips aren't just for peace and quiet. They're essential for emotional balance. Now think about your relationships, your partner, your kids, your colleagues. Sleep deprivation slowly erodes your ability to connect with them. Empathy takes a nosedive. Generosity vanishes. Even basic patience becomes a luxury. When someone's tone feels off, you assume the worst. When someone asks for help, you feel burdened. It's subtle at first, but over time, poor sleep quality transforms us into colder, more reactive versions of ourselves. Improving sleep hygiene doesn't just serve you, it transforms how you show up for the people you care about. The truth is, society at large is suffering from a collective empathy deficit, and chronic sleep loss plays a massive role. Studies show that well-rested individuals are more likely to engage in pro-social behaviors, helping strangers, donating, volunteering. In contrast, people lacking proper rest become more self-centered and guarded. It's a form of emotional survival. But here's the kicker: most people don't even realize they're functioning like this. They assume it's stress or just how life is. But often, all they need is insomnia relief, rooted not in pills but in consistent quality rest. There's also an invisible cost to your romantic and sexual relationships. Hormonal imbalances caused by sleep loss can lower libido, reduce intimacy, and spark unnecessary conflict. When you're exhausted, your brain perceives closeness as a threat rather than comfort. So that tension in your relationship, it might not be about communication at all. It could be a signal from your circadian rhythm, begging for repair. Better sleep habits aren't just about your nights. They're about healing what's breaking down during the day. So if you've been feeling emotionally frayed, reactive, or disconnected, maybe the issue isn't what you said or did. Maybe it's what you missed: sleep. And this rabbit hole goes deeper, because next, we'll explore how the quantity, quality, and timing of sleep work like hidden levers controlling your mental, physical, and even social performance. Topic 3: Quantity, quality, and regularity of sleep. Let's get real for a second. When was the last time you went to bed and woke up at the exact same time for 7 nights in a row? If your answer is, I can't remember, you're not alone, but your brain definitely remembers. Adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, but it's not just about the number. It's also about rhythm. Sleeping at random hours, even if you hit your 8-hour target, can leave you feeling groggy, irritable, and unmotivated. Consistency is what trains your internal clock. That's why a solid bedtime routine isn't just a cute idea. It's a neurological necessity. You see, your body loves predictability. Your circadian rhythm isn't just a sleepy buzzword. It's your built-in biological timer. When it's aligned, sleep feels effortless. When it's not, you're dragging through your day, reaching for caffeine and wondering what's wrong. And here's the kicker: your immune system, metabolism, and mental sharpness all rely on this internal rhythm. So if you're wondering how to improve sleep quality, the answer might not be in what you're doing before bed, but in when you're doing it, and whether you're doing it regularly. Here's where things get tricky. Some people are natural night owls, others early birds. And fighting your biological chronotype is like swimming upstream with bricks tied to your ankles. Forcing a night owl to rise at 5 a.m. is a recipe for burnout, brain fog, and mood swings. Unfortunately, many work cultures ignore this, pushing people into sleep schedules that destroy both productivity and well-being. Natural sleep remedies can help, but until you align your sleep schedule with your internal rhythm, you're just patching leaks on a sinking ship. Then there's the hidden threat: irregular sleep. One night you're in bed by 10, the next it's past 2 a.m. That chaos confuses your brain, weakens your memory, and increases disease risk over time. In fact, researchers have found that inconsistent sleep patterns are as damaging to your health as sleep deprivation itself. It's like giving your brain jet lag every week. So yes, those weekend sleep-ins or late-night Netflix binges might feel harmless, but your brain sees them as chaos. Want deep sleep tips that actually work? Start by making your sleep predictable. Not perfect, not rigid, just predictable. Even small shifts toward regularity can massively improve sleep hygiene and overall wellness. And if you've ever thought, I'll catch up on sleep later, we need to talk, because the next truth might just change how you treat your evenings forever. Topic 4: Sleep disorders and diagnostic tools. Imagine lying in bed for 8 hours, but waking up feeling like you ran a marathon in your sleep. You think you should feel rested, but you're groggy, foggy, and drained. That's the hidden curse of undiagnosed sleep disorders. One of the most common culprits? Sleep apnea. It affects millions of people every night, yet nearly 80% of them have no idea they have it. And it's not just loud snoring. It's your brain being jolted awake dozens, even hundreds of times per night, gasping for air as your airway silently collapses. That's not rest. That's survival mode. You see, not all insomnia is what it seems. Sometimes what people call insomnia is actually a misdiagnosed case of sleep apnea. They lie awake, struggle to fall asleep, or keep waking up, but they don't realize their body is fighting to breathe. Tools like the Stop Bang questionnaire or even a simple app like SnoreLab can reveal shocking insights. In a world obsessed with productivity, these diagnostic tools are like flashlights in the dark, guiding you back to better sleep habits. Because you can't treat what you haven't identified. The real danger of untreated sleep disorders isn't just the exhaustion, it's the ripple effect. Poor sleep quality caused by apnea weakens the heart, raises blood pressure, disrupts glucose regulation, and can even mimic the symptoms of depression. And here's the kicker. The person suffering might not even snore. Sometimes it's subtle. A dry mouth in the morning, constant tossing, night sweats, a sense of never fully arriving in your day. That's why understanding sleep disorders is foundational, not optional, when it comes to true insomnia relief. And yes, it can feel scary to confront the idea that something might be wrong with your sleep. But here's the truth. Awareness is power. Once you see the pattern, you can interrupt it. Once you name the problem, you can fix it. Ignoring it won't make it disappear. It just lets it dig deeper. Whether through clinical tests or digital tools, the path to better sleep hygiene often starts with a single brave question. What's really going on while I sleep? And as we start to uncover the hidden layers of how disorders interfere with deep rest, we also have to look at the habits, those sneaky culprits we can control. Because what you eat, what you drink, and when you do both, well, that might just be quietly sabotaging your sleep every single night. Topic 5. Caffeine, food, and sleep timing. Caffeine is a ninja. It sneaks into your system, hides for hours, and strikes when you least expect it. Like at 2 a.m. when you're tossing, turning, and questioning every life choice. Most people think, it's just one afternoon coffee, what's the big deal? But caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 6 hours. That means if you drink it at 4 p.m., half of it is still buzzing in your bloodstream by 10 p.m., keeping your brain on high alert while your body begs for rest. If you truly want insomnia relief, your last sip of coffee should come long before dinner. Then there's the quiet enemy, food. Ever had a heavy, sugary meal close to bedtime and felt like you were running a marathon in your dreams? That's because your body is multitasking, trying to digest and sleep at the same time. Spoiler, it's not great at doing both. Eating too close to bedtime raises your core temperature and messes with your melatonin release. That's right, your beloved late-night snack might be sabotaging your circadian rhythm without you even knowing it. Deep sleep tips often begin in the kitchen. Let's break it down. High-sugar meals spike your insulin, which not only messes with your blood sugar levels during the night, but can also cause energy crashes, nightmares, and restlessness. Meanwhile, spicy or fatty foods can trigger acid reflux or indigestion. Great for a food blog, terrible for your bedtime routine. And don't even get started on alcohol. It might help you fall asleep faster, but it shatters your sleep quality into pieces. So the next time you're reaching for a late treat, ask yourself, is this helping or hurting my better sleep habits? Sleep timing is more powerful than most people realize. Your body craves rhythm, not just in sleep duration, but in when you eat, move, and wind down. Eating erratically can shift your internal clock, pushing sleep onset later and later. Want to improve sleep quality? Start with consistent meal timing. It sends a signal to your body that it's safe to power down soon. And trust me, when your brain knows when rest is coming, it prepares for it beautifully. That's the magic of aligning with your circadian rhythm. And the beauty is, you don't have to be perfect, just intentional. Simple relaxation techniques before bed, like herbal teas or calming rituals, can undo a surprising amount of damage. But if you've ever reached for melatonin or sleeping pills to undo bad food and caffeine choices, well, it's time we have a deeper conversation about what those substances actually do to your brain. Topic 6. Melatonin and sleeping pills. Melatonin. Just hearing the word makes some people feel hopeful, others skeptical. But here's the truth most labels won't tell you. Melatonin isn't a sleeping pill. It's a sleeping signal. It doesn't knock you out like a sedative. Instead, it whispers to your brain, hey, it's time to wind down. That means if your room is too bright, your mind too wired, or your schedule too chaotic, melatonin can only do so much. People often take higher doses, expecting knockout results. But what they really need is better sleep hygiene and a brain that knows when night begins. Used wisely and temporarily, melatonin can be a gentle nudge in the right direction, especially when your circadian rhythm is thrown off by jet lag or shift work. But long-term use? That's where the plot thickens. Relying on melatonin nightly can actually disrupt your brain's ability to produce it naturally. Like training wheels you never take off, it makes your body forget how to ride solo. If you're searching for natural sleep remedies, think of melatonin as a spark, not the fire itself. Now let's talk sleeping pills, the heavy artillery. First-generation options like benzodiazepines may help you fall asleep faster, but at a cost. They alter your brain chemistry in ways that suppress deep sleep and REM cycles, leaving you sedated but unrest. It's like turning off the lights in your house without actually cleaning anything up. Sure, you don't see the mess, but it's still there. Even worse, over time, dependence builds, and you need more just to achieve the same effect. It's a slippery slope disguised as relief. Thankfully, newer medications are starting to get smarter. Some target the orexin system, the part of your brain that controls wakefulness, without disrupting the natural architecture of sleep. These meds are designed to mimic real sleep rather than override it. That said, they're still tools, not solutions. True insomnia relief doesn't come from masking symptoms. It comes from creating a sustainable bedtime routine, reducing stimulation, and addressing the root cause. Because sleep isn't something to be forced, it's something to invite. And that leads us to the most overlooked part of the sleep equation, your mind. You could dim the lights, drink chamomile, and take every supplement under the sun. But if your brain is racing with thoughts, worries, and what-ifs, none of it will matter. So now, let's dive into the mental battleground where insomnia truly begins and where real transformation takes place. Topic 7. Mental strategies to overcome insomnia. Trying to force sleep is like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. It slips away just when you think you have it. Many people battling insomnia lie awake, their minds spinning with worries, to-do lists, and endless what-ifs. The harder they try to make sleep happen, the more elusive it becomes. It's a paradox of the mind, where resistance fuels frustration and frustration fuels wakefulness. That's why the first step toward insomnia relief is understanding that sleep can't be forced. It needs to be invited gently, with patience and kindness. One powerful technique that's been gaining traction is bedtime restriction therapy. It sounds counterintuitive, limiting the time you spend in bed, but works by consolidating your sleep and strengthening your body's natural sleep drive. Instead of tossing and turning for hours, your body learns to prioritize rest during the time it knows you're actually sleeping. It's like retraining an old dog to obey new commands. Patience and consistency are key. This method also helps quiet the restless mind, nudging it toward calmness rather than chaos. Mind wandering and rumination are the arch nemesis of deep sleep. When your brain spirals into anxiety or replaying the day's failures, it's hard to let go and relax. That's where relaxation techniques come in: guided sleep meditation, deep breathing, or progressive muscle relaxation. These tools don't just distract the mind. They retrain it to settle, to focus on the present moment rather than the endless chatter. It's a mental workout, but one with life-changing results for better sleep habits. Another way to think about sleep is like remembering a name. You don't force it. You let it come naturally when the moment is right. Treat your bedtime routine the same way. Stop fighting the clock or trying to trick your brain. Instead, Cultivate an environment and mindset that welcomes sleep organically. That's the secret many miss. They try to control what's uncontrollable. When you shift your mindset, insomnia starts to lose its grip. Of course, these strategies don't happen overnight. They require awareness, commitment, and a little self-compassion. But once you start to see sleep as a natural rhythm rather than an enemy, you open the door to a deeper kind of rest. And with that foundation, natural sleep remedies and lifestyle tweaks become far more effective. But before you start winding down, there's one last piece of the puzzle that can turbocharge your journey: the power of light, natural and artificial, and how it dances with your circadian rhythm. Topic 8. Natural sleep optimization tips. There's something magical about natural light. It's more than just sunshine. It's a powerful signal to your brain, telling it when to wake up, when to be alert, and when to start winding down. Getting sunlight early in the day isn't just a mood booster. It's one of the most effective ways to reinforce your circadian rhythm. Think of it as setting the internal alarm clock that keeps your body and mind in harmony. Even on cloudy days, stepping outside for a few minutes can make a world of difference in how you feel at night. But as evening approaches, the story flips. Artificial light, especially the blue glow from screens, can be a silent sleep thief. It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, delaying the release of melatonin and pushing back your bedtime. That's why dimming the lights, using warm tones, and putting screens away an hour before bed are some of the simplest, yet most powerful relaxation techniques you can adopt. Your brain craves darkness to prepare for deep sleep. Ignoring this is like trying to drive with your headlights off. Experimentation is your secret weapon here. Everyone's body responds a little differently to light exposure and other sleep habits. Try tracking how different routines affect your sleep quality. Maybe it's swapping your evening scroll for a book or a calming meditation app. Or maybe it's experimenting with blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Small changes can lead to surprisingly big improvements. The key is to be curious, patient, and consistent, because better sleep habits aren't about perfection, but progress. And here's a gentle reminder: don't let the quest for perfect sleep become a source of stress. Obsessing over every detail can ironically backfire, increasing anxiety and insomnia. Instead, celebrate the little wins, those nights when you fall asleep faster or wake up feeling just a bit more refreshed. Natural sleep remedies often work best when layered gradually, building on each success. Like a hero gathering tools for the journey, each step forward brings you closer to reclaiming your nights. So, as you start to weave these tips into your life, remember that sleep is a gift you give yourself every night. It's a sacred ritual that recharges not only your body and brain, but your spirit too. And with that, your journey from restless nights to peaceful slumber is well within reach. Now that you've uncovered the hidden ways sleep, or the lack of it, is damaging your brain every single night, it's time to take action. Will you keep letting poor sleep habits steal your focus, energy, and emotional balance? Or will you become the hero of your own story and reclaim the power of restorative rest? Ask yourself, how different would life be if you truly improve your sleep quality? What relationships could heal? What ideas could spark? What dreams could come alive? The choice is yours. Don't just watch another restless night pass. Commit to better sleep hygiene, embrace natural sleep remedies, and build a bedtime routine that honors your body's rhythms. If you're ready to transform your nights and change your life, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the journey toward deeper, richer sleep. Your brain and your future self will thank you.